Hey everybody! In this month's gel press video, I'm going to use the most basic supply possible, something we all have, which is a roll of paper towels, to create interesting gel prints. Now the cool thing about paper towels is that every brand has its very own pattern. They're all completely unique, and that's what makes it really fun. So this one has really almost kind of a Southwest looking pattern that I thought was super cool. The only exception to this is Viva paper towels, my favorite paper towels, and they have no pattern whatsoever. But look at this. It almost gives it like a sweater, blanket sort of look, but you can see that pattern very, very distinctly. I love it. You could probably use your colorful paper towels for another project too. So here I will do the same thing, but I'm going to go through a slightly different process this time. I'm just wadding up the paper towel and I'm using it for texture. I will do this several times and I'm going to give you some tips for doing it different ways to get different patterns. But this is a really good overall grunge pattern that you can get with your gel prints. And I do this a lot. I've also done it with deli paper. I've done it with just copy paper that's wadded up. If you want like sharper, more angular little patterns in the background, then I definitely recommend using paper. But if you want a softer, kind of more all over grunge that almost looks like peeled paint, then the softer the better. So you can use either a textured or a non-textured paper towel to get this look. But to me, it really looks like chipped paint on brick, that kind of texture, like a wall that you might see somewhere where the paint is coming off. And look how beautiful that is. So you're just seeing that brown peeking through where I removed the blue paint with the paper towel. I think that is such a fun look. It's so very New York City subway. So here, I know you've been watching me deplete this turquoise paint for months and months. At some point, it's going to be an emergency, and yet I'm still ignoring that and just trying to squeeze some more paint out of it. Such a beautiful color. Okay, now this time I'm pressing harder with the paper towel. And what you're seeing is the pattern from the paper towel actually showing up on the paint that's left on the plate. So the pressure that you apply to the paper towel when you're lifting will change the pattern that gets put down on the plate. So just experiment with that. Now this is a slightly lighter paint, and then I'm putting that brown behind it, so I expect to be able to see this just a little bit better, and I expect to see the texture that is transferred from just pushing a little bit harder on that paper towel. And if you keep using the same paper towel over and over again, you might even get some bonus color transfer, which would be fun. So here you can see the pattern very clearly, really different from the other one where I was using a lighter hand and a darker paint. So that's just two similar, but also very different looks that you can get from that part of the process. Now I'm going to start with white paint. So you would expect that white paint would show up even better than the lighter turquoise paint and give us some fun textures. So this is just regular old white paint. If you don't have a large stockpile of white paint, I just don't know how I can even help you. It is such a versatile gel printing tool. Now you can see that when I'm using my non-dominant hand, I'm getting a very different pattern than when I use my dominant hand. So the pattern on the right is very different from the pattern on the left. And that's just kind of an interesting bonus that I observed when I was editing this video. So the same sepia color will go in the background or umber. I can't remember which one I picked. And then I'll pick it up, and I'm really expecting to see a nice pop of that texture on top since I'm using the white paint. So I'm pretty excited about the reveal on this one. So sure enough, oh my gosh, this is the coolest texture. Look at that with the white paint and then the brown paint kind of peeking through. That's incredible. I love that. That might be my favorite. So white probably has a lot of potential as a top layer, in my opinion, because you can put any color behind it and it's going to look really cool. Now, I was going for some kind of neutrals. Like I said, I wanted that sort of grungy brick wall feel, and I got what I wanted. So I'm sticking with that. Now here I'm just going to try to transfer the pattern, the overall pattern, onto the white, and look how crispy and perfect that is. And it's still picking up a little bit of paint from previous rounds. That's the magic of gel printing. So don't expect it to be a super pristine white. You'll also transfer a little bit with your brayer. So now I'm putting the brown back down. This is going to be super cool, I predict. I do love the really irregular ones, but it's fun just to see these like free patterns that you get from something as simple as a kitchen towel. And look at that. Isn't that amazing? It sort of looks like snakeskin clothing from the 80s. I'm not going to lie. That little sort of granular texture in there gives it the look of snakeskin. That is very fun. If you had one that didn't have like the diamond pattern and it just had the little dots, it really would look like snakeskin. So there's a free idea for you. So you can see how different the blue and the white ones look. And then the overall grunge with a very light hand with the paper towel and the brown showing through. That almost looks like old peeling wallpaper, actually, now that I look at it, like a brocade almost. Very fun. And then this gorgeousness with the brown coming through, the lighter blue, and then this, which I think is the pièce de résistance of all of them. I think that's just a fabulous, very abstract textured print. So I have more information about this print and the finished cards, which you can see here on my blog. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments and I will pop back by and answer them. Thanks so much for watching.